My name's Karen Monet, and I'm here with
Lisa Khera from Imbalance Pilates.
and we're here on another episode of Concussions Anonymous.
Exactly. Thanks so much for joining us. If you're watching on YouTube, remember to hit the red bell button and subscribe to our channel. We would love that. And if you're watching here on Facebook, feel free to share out this video if you know anyone who has been struggling with post-concussion syndrome, has had a TBI, anything like that. Please share this out. We'd love to share our tips, and we're really excited to share our tips tonight because we've actually had some questions from clients based on our last video last week, which is about tips on how to travel when you're still dealing with post-concussion. And one of our clients reached out and said they would like our tips on how to prepare and get ready for a big event. In her case, it was for her actual wedding.
Oh, okay.
But we were even talking with, graduation coming up.
So many events coming up in this time of year-end banquets, year-end events.
Yeah, even school assemblies. If you're a mom, having to deal with what things you can and can't go to. So yeah, any big events.
Lots of weddings coming up in June.
Yes,
Sure.
yeah. So we've got our tips tonight on our show Concussions Anonymous about how to deal with getting ready for big events.
Prepare for what you may otherwise be afraid of doing because of what the outcomes usually are, which is struggling with rehab after the event.
Exactly. Or sometimes too, you can get kind of stuck in that anxiety of, well, the last time I tried to go to a birthday party, this is what happened. The last time I went to a wedding on a Saturday on the weekend, I was out of commission till Thursday.
Yeah.
So trying to break that pattern of what's happened in the past, and B, just giving you tips of what you can do in the moment kind of going forward.
Yeah.
So we'll start in. Our first tip we want to share with you is going over your morning routines. So sometimes the most simplest advice can be really impactful. So for morning routines, what I want to tell you is, let's say you have something coming up in a month from now or whenever it is. From right now forward, I want you to stop touching your phone in the morning. So stop scrolling, stop
Reduce
touching
that screen time.
Yeah, stop checking emails. So the very first thing you're going to do when you wake up is simply be grateful and thankful that you are living and breathing. So very first thing you're doing, whomever you believe in, God, universe, source,
Look to for guidance.
Mother Nature, whatever your big belief is, just, we've always said the saying is you can't be hateful and grateful at the same time. So the first thing you do is wake up and be grateful that you woke up. Therefore, no scrolling.
Yeah.
Okay.
What happens when you're scrolling and you're looking at all these events and things and comments that are going on your Facebook feed or whatever, is you start to gain anxiety about those things. So when you wake up in the morning, think just about what you have to do that day. Don't get wrapped up with what's going on in other people's lives, because that just is going to add to your anxiety. So keep things calm, keep things about you and what your plans are for the day, not everybody else's issues.
That's a good point. Yeah, stay on task with your short-term goals, and good one. So our next tip is water and healthy food. So just fueling your body with really healthy food, proper supplements, drinking enough water. That's a given for anything that we're facing. But just sometimes we forget, especially if we're traveling. You were saying earlier, really plan and prep your snacks and your traveling and your route.
Yes.
And that includes healthy food.
Planning for your day at an event as well. Packing a lunch if you feel your blood sugar gets low and you start to feel queasy or dizzy. Make sure you've got that little bottle of water and that little granola bar or whatever it is you need to help you with that.
Yeah, definitely. Your little emergency snack.
We're talking about mornings and water, and I found this really helpful, is I squeeze lemons ahead of time and I freeze them, and so I will put a cube of lemon in a water and boil it and have it like tea. I find that is really cleansing and really healthy, rather than a tea or coffee. That's the first thing I do in the morning. So take a look at your morning routine and what kind of things you can do to improve your whole body as far as gut health and cleansing as well.
Definitely, yeah. So number 3 we have is pacing and pictures. So when it comes to the part about pictures, I was saying if you're at the part in your recovery and healing where you're still really dealing with like cognition issues and memory issues, you might be surprised at how much you forget, especially on a big day. If it's your wedding or a friend's wedding or your child's birthday party or anything like that, you might be surprised at the details and the things that you might actually forget. So my recommendation is just take as many pictures as you can, screenshot things you want to remember, pictures of the day, the event. That's a big one. So
it's easy to get caught up in all the activities, and then it becomes cognitive overwhelm. Your brain just shuts down, and the memory, it's not there. There's not enough room to save all of this, these things that are going on. So when you go back to think about it, the brain's erased it. It's just not even saved that information. So save it by taking pictures.
True, and it can be really frustrating the next day to
Yeah.
realize that there's a lot of things that you can't remember from the day. So being able to jog your memory with all those fantastic pictures from the event will really make you happy.
And people you've met and that sort of thing. You might, did I meet them? Did I talk? Was that in a dream, or did I really talk to that person? So
Exactly.
it can be very frustrating to not remember well.
Yeah. And then the first part of that tip, pacing, is just again making sure that you're really able to look at the day before, the day after, what things and activities can you take out, what things can you kind of toss aside that you don't really have to do, and just really take everything down a notch. If it's, if computer work flares you up, cut that out. If being on your phone, just again having that self-awareness to know what things flare you up, decrease those things, and accommodate and modify how you need to.
I was even thinking that what would be really useful is the day before the event. That's when you do things like get your outfit out. Make sure you have everything you need so you're not rushing around going, oh my gosh, I don't have stockings to go with those shoes and I planned on wearing those shoes. Get all of that stuff out of the way so that the day of, everything's taken care of. You can calmly put on whatever it is that you were planning on wearing. And the other thing is, don't expect to figure out how to get where you're going just before you're going there. Make sure that you've planned that map out, you've got it in your Google Maps as a destination, you've programmed it in your GPS, whatever it is you need to do. Make sure you have that planned ahead of time, not the day of as well, because that again will give you that confidence that, okay, I've checked all of these things off, they're not going to stress me now. There will possibly be things that are thrown your way that put your plan out of whack, but at least if you've done as many things as you can to pre-plan, pre-prepare, pack your lunch the day before. Don't be running around trying to do that as well the day of. Do as much as you can beforehand so that all you need to do the day of this big event is focus on the event itself, not everything around getting there, preparing to get there. It'll make your day much calmer to begin with, because remember, you only have so many cognitive dollars to spend on anything, and if you use it all up in the morning or before getting to the event, you're not going to have as good a result at the event that you're going to.
True. Yeah, those are all really good points. And as well, if it's like an emotional thing where you have to kind of navigate through dealing with certain family members or certain family issues, like let's say it's a big wedding and things like that, that's another thing that you're going to have to take into consideration. Sometimes when we talk about that, we talk about like energy zappers and boundaries, having knowing, and I mean, if you're at the part where if you know how much you're able to socialize, keep that into consideration. If you know that you have a good 2 hours of being able to socialize, keep it at that. Go take your break. Be really mindful.
Pick and choose who you spend your time with.
Yes.
Pick the ones that give you energy, not the ones that drain you. And don't feel guilty about avoiding those people you know are energy drains. Make that conscious decision ahead of time. I'm going to spend my time here and here. I'm not going to spend my time there. And don't be upset about it. Don't be guilty about it. You're doing what's best for you. So make sure you face those decisions before it comes time to make those decisions.
Yeah, that's a really good point for sure. And then our next one, number 4, is calming tools. So just using whatever calming tools you have in your little toolbox. So that might be guided meditations, using essential oils. So a lot of people find things like peppermint can really help with headaches. So using those roller balls to smell.
Yeah, maybe not
that.
putting it on you so that other people aren't
Yep.
smelling it. Just
Yep.
have something that you can smell yourself to keep your.
Exactly.
Put it on a hanky or a tissue or something like that, and just pull it out when you have to smell it and calm yourself.
Exactly. If you use crystals to calm you, you could definitely have some crystals for different properties and what you need them for.
Sometimes it's great to just have those in your pocket and to handle them, and that in itself can be a calming activity.
Exactly. Yeah, breathing exercises. So just taking that time to focus on your breath, focus on relaxation that way. That's a big one. Number 5 is posture and movement. So doing things like Pilates and yoga. So scheduling in that exercise and that movement to get your body moving, the endorphins and stress relief with exercise. And as well, from a pain relief and confidence standpoint, anytime you have better posture, you're activating that internal confidence, and as well, it does help decrease pain when you have better posture versus you're in
better
fetal
posture
position.
and smile, and even if you don't feel like smiling, that smile will release endorphins to make
It
you
does.
feel
It'll
better.
radiate and change your energy and change the energy of the room.
You may not feel like smiling, but smile, and then those around you will smile as well.
Exactly.
Don't feel bad about leaving the event to go and regroup somewhere as well, and even scout that spot out before the event begins. So know ahead of time, I'm sitting here. You don't have to tell people, but just I'm sitting here so that I can scooch out behind that chair and go to that little room in the back, or I can sneak out the side door to where the gardens are and just stand there in the fresh air for a minute before I go back in. So scout these things out before the event. Let's say you're at a school assembly and you really want to be there, but you can't be there for your child's whole event, or you want to sneak out after it's finished. Situate yourself so you can access the aisle and the exit, so that you can if you have to get out. So this is all a part of posture and movement. If you need to get up and move around so that you're more comfortable, situate yourself in the event arena, wherever you are, so that you can get out, do your posturing, stand up, move around a little bit before you come back and sit down. And
definitely. And we even talked before about, if it's a day where you need to do wear a hat, wear a hoodie,
arrive incognito.
Yeah, and you might have to keep that up until you go on stage or whatever it is, right? You might have to modify.
As soon as your kids come out on stage, you can reveal yourself in the audience.
Exactly. And that's okay.
Don't feel bad about that.
And that's okay. You do what you gotta do to modify and get there, right? Number 6 we have is visualization. So again, you're going to hear this every time we have a show pretty much. We need to be working on mindset, visualization, setting intentions. So taking at least between 5 and 10 minutes every day to visualize that event
going
amazing.
Not all the bad things that might happen, because then you're inviting those things. Honestly, think positive. Imagine all the great things that are going to happen, and the more you do that, the more likely it's going to happen, because you're paving your way for that to happen.
Exactly. Visualize the feelings that day of everything going smooth. The day after, that you're not crashing. The day after, you're able to tackle a certain thing the next day. So it's huge. It's they say mind over matter, and it's just one little sentence, but what an unbelievably true phrase, that's for sure. And then number 7, all of the, if you are prescribed lenses and that.
Right. So I haven't really explained very much often what we do, but precision tinted lenses are excellent at reducing the triggers of all the visual stimuli that are going on around you. And it's the events, it's the driving that we talked about last time, the visual stimuli, the visual overwhelm that goes on and triggers your brain. The visual filters actually reduce the amount of trigger that your brain gets from these images. So that's why when we talk about wearing a hat and wearing a hoodie, you're reducing the visual stimuli that's going on. So you can't really take colored lights with you to an event. You can't take an overlay or these things don't help you. It's the lenses that will help reduce that the stimuli and the effect it has on your brain. So if you have them, wear them.
Definitely. And modify, like if there's a certain pattern,
right?
You know, if you're facing
like this lovely picture behind us, it's a beautiful beach with a lovely fence, and if you were sitting facing that, you might wish to relocate yourself so you're looking at something else, or make sure that wherever you're sitting in an arena, that there isn't too much going on either side of you. Maybe go to the side of the arena so that, or the stage, or wherever the event, wherever it's being held, make sure that there's not a lot of action going back and forth beside you, so it's reducing that peripheral stimuli that's going on.
Or maybe, you know, if you are in an assembly and waiting for something like that to begin, maybe you can, you know, kind of turn, or if you're at the very back of the assembly, turn around and kind of talk to your partner facing the wall so that you're not taking in that periphery.
Sometimes those lights, just even when they're testing them and when they're working through getting the lighting set up, don't be sitting there looking at it, because that's just going to make it harder for you to get through the whole event.
Yeah, exactly. And definitely we have more of our own tips through, I've got my stuff on my website, which is imbalancepilates.ca.
And we have a lot about visual stimuli, visual stress, and concussion on our website at opticom.ca.
And as a reminder, we love it if you'd like and share a video, and definitely subscribe on YouTube. We're always looking for more guests and stories to have on our show, Concussions
and
Anonymous.
Questions.
And questions. Feel free to keep reaching out and let us know what topics and top tips you'd like us to share with you, because we love to get this information out. So let us know what else you'd like to hear from us, and we'd be glad to share that stuff. And definitely keep in touch. And
stay tuned for the next episode of Concussions Anonymous with Lisa Khera and Karen Monet.
Thanks. Bye.
Have a nice night.